Today, I want to talk about everything we know about the blue liquid from Knights of Guinevere, which many of us are calling blue blood, and which seems to be making people in the show sick. So let's break it all down. Now, the color blue is important to the show because it's the color of Guinevere herself, and this may be in part to help mask all the blue blood that is required to help her function. As of now, we don't really know what this blue liquid is, but with Gwen being a machine, I'd have to guess it's some sort of coolant meant to stop her from overheating. Whatever it is, a lot of fans call it blue blood because it's very clearly what she needs to survive, basically the android equivalent to blood, but that doesn't mean it's safe for humans. For Gwen, the reason to use blue-colored liquid came from the idea of blue bloods, a term used to refer to royals, like Gwen being a princess. However, as a chemical used for robots, it's apparently extremely toxic to humans and is causing a series of horrifying effects on the local people. The first hint of this came in the early Knights of Guinevere teaser image, where we see a bunch of promo posters for the park itself, but also a poster that talks about some disease called blue lung. Here it says that if you have blue lung, you are not alone, indicating that it's a widespread problem on Park Planet that people have a support group for. This was before we had the pilot itself, so fans were already on the lookout for what this blue lung would be in the show. In the pilot, we see a lot of images and notices about the blue lung disease posted in various places, each giving us a bit more of the story. To start, we see a billboard for the company that Frankie works for, where they produce Guinevere merch. In the image, we see some workers pouring some blue liquid into a container that turns it into merch. You'll notice that they aren't wearing hazmat suits, but they are wearing clothes and gloves meant to protect them from direct exposure to the chemical. Earlier in the episode, we get a montage of Park Planet's history with a shot in front of a factory showing blue smoke rising out of it and warnings about blue lung disease. According to one notice, the blue lung disease is actually on the rise, becoming a lot more common. This appears to be contagious too because it talks about how you should report sightings, indicating it could spread to others once one person gets it from the chemicals. Horrifyingly, another sign talks about how you can get blue lung insurance, something I have to imagine the executives of Park Planet put in place to profit off of how they are literally poisoning this entire planet. They create jobs that kill you while not paying a livable wage and then expect you to pay for insurance in the event you end up sick from it. And as we all know with insurance and some of the retaliation against insurance, it doesn't always end up paying out even when they should. Even within the park, unfortunately, there have been extreme leaks of some of this fluid, with a famous example being shown involving a young man using scissors to cut open a Gwendroid, leading to blue blood getting out and causing a disaster. Right below that, another headline seemingly unrelated to the original story is that parents are shocked to find that their newborn baby is blue. With where the headline is placed, you obviously know the two are connected by the park, both causing terrible things to happen because of this blue liquid, both to guests from off-planet just visiting the park and the locals who live there down below. The fact that babies are being born blue is especially concerning, as originally the fluid was presented as only affecting the lungs of a person, but it seems the long-term effects of it are becoming more intense as more and more of the chemical runoff is entering the environment. The sad thing about this disease is that it seems to have already spread to Andy herself, setting up the series for an arc where they are trying to help Gwen, but where Andy is slowly dying and perhaps trying to hide it from Frankie. Andy works in a lab with the theme park animatronics directly, and even the one she brings home for work in the pilot just begins leaking blue blood when it malfunctions. Her job was to be around this sort of thing all day, and she even has some protections against it. For instance, we see her put on a gas mask looking item when she has an encounter with a man who clearly is dying from the blue lung. This man spat on Andy's shoe and really coughed in her face before she realized that he's probably infected and put on her mask. And by the end of the episode, it actually seems like she has already caught the blue lung. We can see this when Andy and Sparky strike their deal about the Gwendroid, and Andy spits in her hand before shaking Sparky's. When he pulls his hand back, he sees that she has blue color in her spit, indicating she is already infected and perhaps dying. But what makes this all so interesting is that there is one person who doesn't seem to be affected by the blue blood at all, Olivia. Or rather, that she has already been affected by it so much that it doesn't affect her anymore. Olivia is the daughter of Orville, the creator of Park Planet, with the two of them together seemingly creating the Guinevere androids, even though Olivia was a very young age when this first happened. It's because of that the very first of these is treated as a sort of special thing that Olivia owns, but who she in particular has to keep repairing. The thing is that Olivia isn't afraid to touch the blue blood at all, however, and we can see it getting all over her even as a child. At this point, Orville makes it clear that something terrible has already happened to Olivia and pushes her to just forget about it and focus on her destiny of living in and running this theme park. At first glance, it could look like Olivia herself is a theme park android, and thus immune to the effects of the blue coolant. However, after this, we get the montage where Olivia is clearly growing up with the Guinevere franchise, working on her robotics and being there for big events like their movie releases. Finally, when we make it to the present, Olivia looks like an older woman, though some people claim that she's only aged a few decades and that this is some rapid effect of the blue liquid. The point is for this to be a mystery to us, unfortunately, so with just the pilot, there isn't some sort of concrete answer on what exactly happened to Olivia or why she is immune to the blue liquid, but the answer seems to be that she was affected by the blue liquid itself at an earlier time. While Guinevere is said to be an android, which is a robot that looks like a human, some fans think that Olivia is also part machine, despite her ability to age. This would make her a cyborg, and it would make some sense for Orville to use his advanced mechanics to try and help his daughter if she became fatally sick. Right now, the blue liquid is causing a lot of problems for other people, from blue skin to contagious killer blue lung. But the moment his own daughter got sick, Orville would get the best possible solution to give her a normal feeling life. Or in lieu of that, a magical feeling life. Olivia is very clearly sick in the present, bound to a bed and having no real desire to live outside of keeping an eye on her dear Guinevere android. As a child, Olivia handled Guinevere rather harshly, and a lot of fans saw her as a sadistic character who was hurting Gwen. But with Gwen being an android, a human like Olivia would have no reason to think that handling Gwen in this way would be actually hurting her. As an adult, her feelings seem more clear, which are obsessive and strong and probably influenced by her father's feelings for her. Whatever happened to Olivia, it seems she was given this entire theme park to live in because she wasn't going to be able to live anywhere else. There's an entire galaxy out there for rich people to explore, but Olivia has been trapped at this theme park for her perhaps very short life because she can only go so far from the machines that are also keeping her alive. It was a children's theme park built to be the perfect paradise for a little girl because she was never going to live that long, and all because of the same blue blood that keeps the entire theme park running. Orville created this kingdom for his daughter to be royalty in, with no greater purpose to explore than trying to keep her own Guinevere robot, her childhood princess friend, as close as possible. Unfortunately, Olivia didn't seem to have the opportunity to make her own friend, so this robot that she constructed was the closest thing she had to that. While other Gwen droids would be made to work at the park, this is the one she bonded with in the creation process, and the one she wanted to keep close, just as her father kept her close. Now, as an old woman, her approach to protecting Gwen looks sweeter than when she was a kid, with Olivia being convinced that Gwen needs her protection, and that she won't know what to do on her own out there in the world, even if all Gwen wants more than anything is to escape the theme park and be with other people. All of this sets up quite the complex mystery for a show around this blue blood. I can't imagine the answer is as simple as this not-so-theory video makes it out to be, and I believe that with each new episode, we'll get more and more clues to what exactly this liquid does and the more mind-bending ideas behind it, as I doubt it's just some generic poison. For me personally, I think there's going to be a cure of sorts as well by the end of this, as I really don't want Andy to die, but what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments down below, or especially anything I missed in the show or behind the scenes that might blow this case right open. Go check out my previous video on Dana Terrace's earlier show, The Owl House, if you haven't seen it yet, as it's full of really shocking and surprising mythology that's likely going to be an equal inspiration to the Knights of Gwen as well. And be sure to subscribe because I'll have another video coming out on that subject very soon. See you guys next time.